Hi everyone, welcome to my Oracle decks of 2022 that I use for my personal readings, that I use for my YouTube readings, and that I use for myself. We're going to be diving into each one of the decks, what they look like, the name of them, how they are to shuffle, what kind of energies they embody, so on and so forth. And so you can either fast forward to the deck that you want to check out, watch them all, whatever you feel free. This is going to be deck 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And of course, I will have the timestamps listed down below so you can fast forward to a deck that really catches your eye, as well as Amazon affiliate links will be for each deck below, which gives me a little beautiful kickback, which I always appreciate. Yeah, so let's get started with Miss Big Deck number 1 over here with the butterflies. Here we have the Nature's Whisper Oracle cards, and they are huge. They're really hard to shuffle. Luckily, I have long hands, so it makes it easier to shuffle, but even still with long hands, I feel like it is tricky to shuffle still. I get more hits naturally just by the cards and the imagery in the cards than in the guidebook. The guidebook is great. Got a nice box. I'm not so into boxes and stuff. I don't really care, but yeah, it is big. It's hard to shuffle. It's hard to do this. I feel like my fingers are like just barely hanging on. I wish they were a little bit smaller, I wish they were a little bit smaller just to be able to shuffle, but they are really flexible to shuffle. And so it's not impossible, but if you have small hands, beware. The images are really beautiful. They're really intense, and like I said, I don't really need the guidebook because there's tons of imagery inside the imagery, inside the artwork. I really appreciate, I don't even usually look at this. Mostly I just look at the images and just let my intuition kind of take over. I appreciate the nature in each of these images and just the endless intuitive hits that you can get from these cards are just really powerful and really incredible. Like there's a deer kind of right there, you know, there's a shape inside her earring, there's these archways here, there's like a garden, there's like a staircase here, you know, so there's so much in each of these images that you can just get so many intuitive hits, which I think is really, really important for getting some messages, getting some clarity, whatever you're kind of looking for. It's beautiful. So you just might have to think of alternative ways to shuffle it if you don't have long hands, but my gosh, they're beautiful. This artist like really took their time with all the details, and like this must have taken so long to create. Like there's a little underworld here, like just so much in each card, and I use them more as focus points when I just need to get a lot of intuitive hits here. Lots of just guidance. I really enjoy this in the nature and the aspects of everything. Oh, I think I did that little char from a candle, but yeah, really incredible images, really beautiful Oracle deck. I want the cards smaller just to be able to shuffle, but then you can't see the vibrancy and the details of everything in the image, so you kind of have to sacrifice that a little bit, but it's definitely a beautiful deck. It is worth having big. Again, you might just have to shuffle more like this and then pull one or whatever kind of works for you, but it's a big deck. It's hard to shuffle for sure. So that is the Nature's Whisper Oracle. Link will be down below if you want to purchase. All right, we have the Numerology Oracle deck, and this is one of the first kind of decks I got. There has a guidebook that kind of goes through the numbers, very solid. and goes into the deeper meaning of the numerology. You can also study numerology. It's a really good kickoff point. They're a little bit glossy, so sometimes it's a little bit hard to read. See, there you go. Kind of glossy on both sides. Makes it a little bit tricky to read. But shuffle's really nice. And it's just very, very simple. You can get ideas for whatever you want, whatever you use ideas for, guidance, things you're stuck on, things that you need to move forward with, what should be your focus points. I feel like it's really good, like, points. You know, it has really good, you know, ways forward. There's colors, there's numbers, you know, the imagery is really similar, but it has some really good it's a good solid deck. You know, you're not going to get anything too crazy for like getting crazy intuitive hits. You can get some intuitive hits as long as you know a little bit of numerology and can kind of balance the two, or maybe use these interacting with tarot cards. I think definitely helps kind of, you know, oomph the message up. But yeah, definitely really cool cards here. So that's numerology. Link will be down below if you want to purchase that. Again, I use these sometimes for like video ideas. I think that's also really helpful. Or just candle magic, or a meditation kind of session. It's really good for just like, what do I need to meditate on? Domestic harmony. Cool. Got it. Let's go meditate. You know, it's just nice and easy to understand. So that is Numerology Oracle Guidance. We have Soul's Journey Lessons card. This is a incredible deck to work with in multiple ways. Obviously, there is a lot of information in the guidebook. Got a nice good box here, of course, by Hay House. We love Hay House Publishing. But the images are really nice. Again, it's kind of glossy, makes it a little bit tricky. It is nice to shuffle here. Let me shuffle. Oh, love it. And they're really interesting kind of intuitive points. Can be used for meditation, for focus points. It's just really good. It has a kind of positive affirmation here down at the bottom. You know, they're great. And I really like the mandala kind of artwork that they have on this card. They're simple, but kind of getting you good for shadow work, you know. It's good for meditation. It's good for encouragement. It's good for your altar, whatever, you know, you kind of feel like you need at the time. There's a lot here, you know. Focus points, healing, like what are you stuck on? What do you need to grow on? Yeah, really beautiful cards. I love the colors. I especially love this color, this turquoise, really beautiful. Freedom and peace. Lovely. So you can even use the colors as guides. Like, there's so much that you can get here with these cards, and they are really beautiful and well made. And yeah, that is the Soul's Journey Lesson cards. All right, this is a very popular deck. I feel like I see it everywhere for personal readings, in other YouTube videos, tarot readings and such. It is Moonology Oracle cards by the publisher Hay House, which Hay House is amazing. If you don't know about it, look it up. But it's all about working with the moon, you know, with zodiac signs and astrology, as well as just the moon cycles. So it is a really beautiful, intuitive moon cycle, very feminine, can be worked, you know, men can use it too. But I've had it for 3 years and it's held up pretty well. It is a little bit like dusty just from being used so much. It's a little bit scratched up, but for using it consistently for 3 years, pretty good. And it's got a very nice matte finish. I remember when I first got them, I couldn't stop touching them, and it still does have that nice matte finish. They are a little bit beat up, but still get the point across, still shuffle really well. But yeah, we have full moons and in their zodiac signs, as well as we have a little bit of astrology. I got another full moon. We have moon cycles as well. Moon cycles, and we have new moons and moon cycles. So yeah, it just goes through kind of all of the cycles that you kind of go through in a 28-day period, 29-day period, if you will, because the moon is constantly changing from, you know, zodiac to zodiac every 2.5 days, and the moon goes through its cycle in 28 days. If you want to learn more about moon cycles and moon rituals, new moon, full moon, I do have a link down below. But yeah, really beautiful card, really encouraging, kind of help you get motivated, get unstuck. You can see why it's so popular. It's easy to read. If you are kind of intimidated by tarot, this is a really good deck to kind of start with that I like to recommend to people who are just kind of getting into this type of stuff. If you do want to learn tarot, I also have that available as a course, as a class. So if you're interested, link for this will be down below, and all those other links as well. So that's Moonology. Here we have the Sacred Self-Care Oracle, again by Hay House. Ooh, she dusty. I never use the deck or the boxes. By Hay House here and Jill Pyle. And this is a beautiful, you know, oracle deck that goes into what do you need to do for yourself? What can you do to nurture yourself on a soul level? And they shuffle okay. They're a little bit stiff. It's a little bit thicker than kind of a 44 deck or 44 card oracle deck. But I love the little, oh, I forget what this is called. This symbol, umele? I think it's an umele. I'll put it here, what this thing is called, this symbol. Basically, it's spiritual growth and how it's kind of up and down, and finally you reach enlightenment after struggle. But the illustrations are really beautiful. It's a beautiful matte deck. I love how they feel. They're really smooth. Hay House does a really good job with their decks. They're just really beautiful. So some simple imagery. What do you need to kind of focus on for yourself? What do you need to tap into? Where is your energy drained? Where do you need to be focusing more energy? You know, everything spiritual. I love the rainbows. I love the muted kind of colors. It's really lovely. It kind of just helps you stay in tune with, like, what does my body need? Where do I need to be putting more energy into myself? You know, or putting it towards family or hydration or, you know, sound healing. Like, there's so much that can go into this deck, and it's really beautiful. And yeah, I use it quite frequently when I'm like, what do I need? I don't even know what I need to sync with the moon, sing, take a walk, watch a movie, so on and so forth. So you kind of get the gist, the point of this. But yeah, it's a great deck to just give yourself some guidance on what do you need to focus on for yourself. It's great for clients as well if they're just feeling kind of stuck and stagnant, or for yourself, for your altar. You know, do it on a daily basis, a daily card pull, also good. So that is the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. All right. We have the Starseed Oracle. I so vibe with this. This is one of my first oracle decks. I love the artwork by Danielle. You know, I love reading the deeper meaning behind this kind of weird woo-woo spiritual stuff, star seeds and all of that. And I don't usually care about the box, but the box opens like this, and then you can, they have like in the booklet, you can like read the cards a certain way, but I just love that they went through with the details of making the box a little diamond kind of triangle shape. It just, little icing on the cake. Again, published by Hay House. Hay House does an incredible job with their decks, and if you don't know about Louise Hay, I recommend you researching her. But they have some really beautiful pastel backs. Yeah, it looks like I've had this, or no, I've had this deck for a while, but it doesn't look like I've had it for a while. Like, there's no scratches, there's no dings, the images are still vibrant and beautiful. You know, it's held up really, really well. So here we have kind of the image style. Again, it's just very spacey, very ethereal, very like, what is happening? You know, there's so much imagery here. It's just very spacey, starseedy, you know, all of those things that you kind of want in like a weird woo-woo spiritual deck, which I am so about. I am so about the weird spiritual woo. And there was definitely some deeper images within the cards, as you can see. But love all of the stars and sparkles, as well as it goes into kind of the deeper meaning of some weird, you know, items. We got Hirith, I think that's how you say it. Seas of Mentinka. Whale and Orca Elders. So it goes more into the deeper meanings of all of that. That goes, you know, in the book, she talks about it a lot more. But yeah, there's more decks by this kind of duo, and I don't have them yet, but I need them in my life because this artwork is just incredible, and I am here for it. So that is the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and Danielle Noel, and yeah, link will be down below. Hidden Truth Oracle by All Things Intuitive. There's a couple different decks by this person, whoever created this, All Things Intuitive, and it is really a simple deck, simple to shuffle, and it is good for love readings because it is all of these kind of messages. What does this person want to try to say to you kind of messages that are going on here in this deck. I do find that this deck is sometimes a little bit negative or a little bit steered towards missing someone or an ex, and so sometimes when I'm reading for someone where it's not an ex, I kind of take out the more negative cards and kind of only leave the positive ones because I'm like, I don't need that negativity. You know, this would be a more positive one. I can't stop thinking about you. I feel you leaving me behind feels like an ex, you know, so I definitely want to get their other decks and kind of, you know, learn more about the other decks to see if some of them are a bit more positive, a bit more mixed. Yeah, it's really fun. It's a fun way to kind of add a little spice to the end of a love reading if you want like a little message, or, you know, a soulmate reading, or, you know, a friend reading, anything like that. It can be really, really helpful to kind of just get messages from someone that is not willing to communicate. That's kind of it. The Hidden Truth Oracle. I don't like the box, but I never use boxes, so I just leave things out in the wild because that's how I use that is how I use my cards. But that is the Hidden Truth Oracle, link below. And we have the famous Romance Angels Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. And these are really popular. I feel like I see them all the time. They're a small little deck. It's got gold foiling kind of on the edges. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like shiny gold. There we go, a little bit. And I feel like this is a really popular romance deck, and you see it a lot. Nice and easy to shuffle, easy to do this, and all about love. You know, you have true love, playfulness, past life relationships, new love, let go of control issues, separation, and so on and so forth. So it's really good to integrate this into a love reading. There are a couple negative cards, but so life is chaotic, and that's how it goes. But yeah, really fun staple card to have in your collection, or if you are just looking for a good romance deck, this is a classic one, really popular for good reason. But yeah, link will be down below if you're curious about purchasing this guy. And we have the Kipper fortune telling deck, which is kind of based upon a little bit of, I believe, a German deck. It definitely requires a little bit of study here to really research the cards, because they are not your typical oracle deck. They are definitely good for general reading and romance, and it's nice to add a little bit. There's like a silver edging here on the cards. They're a little tricky to shuffle. When I first got them, they were really stuck together, but they've gotten better, but they're definitely a little chunky to shuffle. A little chunky, a little bit shiny, but there is a lot that you could add this to a normal tarot reading. If you want to learn how to read tarot, I have a class, link is below, but it's definitely like a different style deck, and it's really fun to read, but definitely requires a bit of study. I definitely found when I just jumped into it, it wasn't so easy to be intuitive with it. Yes, you can be intuitive, but it really helped to do a little bit of research on how the cards kind of play with each other and what the design of the cards are and the numbers and all that. So it definitely is worth studying. It's definitely a really fun kind of deck and can be used in multiple different ways. Wanting to know more information, what do you need to know, like wealthy man or a thief. So that could be a wealthy man trying to steal something from you, you know, bad health. So it just goes into all of the basics, and it definitely reminds me of more of the kind of like fortune telling side, classic style, like, you know, before tarot became like oracle or occult, if you will. Like, it was more this kind of style. And if you want to learn more about tarot and how to read tarot and the origins of tarot, like, that's gonna be all linked below. I do have a tarot course, goes into like the history of tarot, which I find fascinating just to know about. But yeah, that is the Kipper deck, and link will be down below if you're curious about purchasing that. Okay, we have Clarity Cards by Melissa Rachel Black. I believe you can only purchase these on her website, which is melissarachelblack.com. There we go. But these are really happy cards. I've had them for a while. They make you feel good. Easy to shuffle. Really good for like happiness, inner child work, just what do you need to hear right now, you know. And they're really fun images. Listen to music, go on a hike. Definitely got a little bit beat up over the years I've had it. There's a little bit of scuffing, but still holds true with the images, and it's just nice, great guidance kind of oracle card. and positivity and just letting things happen and taking care of yourself. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful, positive little deck, and I appreciate a little positivity sprinkled into the day. So yeah, Melissa Rachel Black clarity cards. We have Louise Hay Heart Thoughts card, obviously by Hay House, which is her publisher. If you are not familiar with Hay House, she is this wonderful lady who has passed away now, who was all about affirmations and a positive motivational speaker. You can look her up on YouTube. You can go to Hay House and check out more information about her. But basically, these are positive affirmations. So they have one side is the positive affirmation. On the back side is a little bit more in depth into that positive affirmation. And I think there's like about 4 or 5 different kind of like styles, like looks. So there's a repeat. They're a little tricky to shuffle just because they're like square and tricky. But I don't really shuffle these that much. I do shuffle them and then I pull a card, but yeah, these are it's just a beautiful way to just find an affirmation for the day that you need. You know, I love others by allowing them to be who they are. Everything comes to me in the right time, space, sequence. And if you know anything about Louise Hay, it is just, I love her. I love her energy. I love her messages. I love the way that she does things. Like everything about it is just really beautiful, blissful. Love her, you know? So, not going to show you all of these because this could go on forever, but I think you kind of get the point. And so, yeah, these will be linked down below if you feel like purchasing them, and I recommend checking out Louise Hay. Okay, we have Angel Answers Oracle cards, and they come in 3 different colors. There's pink, there's yellow, and there is blue, and I keep them separated. These are kind of messages from your angel. This is more timing and yes, no. And I think there's some confusion about how to work with this deck, but that's kind of how I found it fits the best with what I need. And so all the images are very similar. Again, you can see the blue and the yellow. This shuffles pretty good. It's a little bit sticky, but it shuffles pretty good. So that's how I've done this deck. I've separated the 2 and just leave them in 2 different piles. It makes it pretty easy, you know. So you got timing and yes, no over here. And then these pink ones are all kind of angel advice, if you will. So we have helpful people. We have if you believe, compromise, no need to worry, look for a sign, listen to your intuition, opportunity, recovery, big happy changes, so on and so forth. So you kind of get the idea of this deck, and obviously it's pretty small to shuffle because I've split them up, but it shuffles just fine. So yeah, that is the Angel Answers. I love using them, dabbled into my own practice, into personal readings, into everything. I think it's a multi-purpose deck. As long as you split it up, if you put it all together, it's a little bit clunky, and you can also separate it, you know, yellow and blue if you want to, and kind of have 3 different decks all together. Whichever you feel to do that you are called to do. So that is Angel Answers. Link will be down below to purchase.